Hey, we've been working hard, and our plants work even harder.
They do.
So let's look at some plants that are notable for how tough of workers they are.
All right, let's do
They go
it.
above and beyond.
What do we got this
Let's
week?
do it. I'm going to start with one of our favorite annuals or
Yep.
perennial.
Depending on where you are.
Exactly. So this is Lantana. I chose Lantana because all summer long, no matter how hot or dry it gets, it just blooms and blooms.
Yep. It works color all summer long.
It almost seems like the worse the weather gets, the happier. I mean, he just gets bigger and more intense, the color, and it'll go into the fall. You know, once we get a freeze, this is an annual, he'll be done. But
Low feeders, fertility, it's just the blooms are just profuse and just keep on going.
What does slow this thing down?
Water.
And-
Don't overwater Lantana.
But as long as it's hot, he'll be happy. Early in the season, this guy just kind of sits there, and then it gets hot, and boom, it just explodes.
That
And it just-
heat and
Definitely
long
a hard
days.
worker.
Very
make it
hard working
Push it into
plant.
overdrive.
Yeah, he's a good one. I love Lantana.
Now, in the shrub world, we've got a lot of hard workers.
We
Yes.
do, and we have a couple.
The shrub is the working man's
Workhorse.
plant. Yeah, I
it's
mean,
like the
is.
workhorse. It is.
blue collar.
It is because
This doesn't look blue collar to me, though.
This is
it looks a little fancy.
It looks
fancy.
fancy, but it works hard.
It's a very hard working. So this is a shrub rose. This is a red drift rose, and the drift roses, my goodness, they just bloom and bloom and bloom. He reminds me of the Lantana, like
Constantly. You
he
just see all
keeps
these
going.
new buds.
That's what I
ready
was
to
just
blow
standing back
away.
here and looking at. Just brack.
We couldn't even count them all.
Yep.
And we really don't have to prune them. I mean, it's just this guy just grows in a nice mound, 2 to 3 foot tall, 3 to 4 foot wide, and so my labor,
creeping up.
not so much on him. He just does a great job. Sits out there and gets it done. All right.
Drift rose.
So this is one of Art's favorites.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that nice?
Put a stool on that.
So
Yep.
I wish everybody could smell this. This is
Yeah,
a
we're right
bayberry,
here.
bayberry wax myrtle. Great shrub. This is indigenous to our area. It's a native shrub, and it's extremely adaptable to wet conditions, dry conditions, shade, sun.
So what else?
But it's
of it.
working hard, not just for itself.
Birds nest once they get large
This
enough.
thing
Yeah.
is amazing for the environment.
It produces clusters of these like light gray berries on them.
Yet another.
Man, it's a good plant. Yeah.
You
Gets
see
big.
them in woods. You see them beside rivers and marsh.
Yep.
Extremely adaptable.
It's adaptable to multiple any soil
So
conditions.
that's a very versatile,
sun.
hardworking plant.
My newest favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
I mean,
it.
Yep.
it's old as dirt.
There are dwarf varieties on the market too that
That's right.
do not attain such a large size.
If you need to
So,
use them in a much tighter space, you can
Great
still
plant.
get the same qualities in a
Good-
small
Good
spot.
plant for hedging. Makes a nice
Love it.
natural screen.
Love it.
So in the tree
Now,
world,
this is not a shrub,
well,
but it's kind of a shrub tree.
Yep.
it is. So in the tree world, that was a tough one because trees work really hard.
They do.
Sure do.
I mean, they are the kings of labor. But this is a crepe myrtle.
And
So
the
when we
longevity of doing it.
Yeah.
so when we think of crepe
They
They
don't-
myrtles,
outlast the annuals.
when we think of crepe myrtles, we tend to think of much larger.
Yeah, I got
Big,
tired of
yeah.
you bringing in all these really big things.
So crepe myrtles
So-
come in so many different sizes and habits, and this particular one is a very dwarf variety called Pocomoke.
Nice hot
Little
pink.
dude, only
Yep.
grows 3 to 4 foot high and wide, and very slowly, but gives us everything else that we love about crepe myrtles. Crepe myrtles have the longest bloom season of
That's
any tree.
Yeah.
That's some hard work.
Any tree on the planet, crepe myrtles have the longest bloom. It's phenomenal to me. As much as 120 days. Isn't that crazy?
Usually
I
good
believe
fall
it.
color too. Give you a little bit
Beautiful
of both.
fall color. Some of
Working
them
all seasons
oh,
long.
Man, some of them get that exfoliating bark on them, and they're really, really striking. Very, very pretty.
Crepe myrtles, a great hard working tree.
Not everybody wants to work that hard.
The low maintenance landscape.
This is one of my
kids are
favorite
supposed to be
shows, The
keeping the
Simpsons,
yard
all the way
clean.
back in season 9.
Oh my.
Turn on the TV, Elise. You turn it on. I turned it on yesterday. Lounge day. Ding, 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 ding. You don't deserve an allowance. Sure we do. Ding, 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 ding.
Ice cream man, ice cream man.
That backyard is a disgrace. Now get busy. That's a good suggestion, Mom. We'll take it under advisement. But I can't go out dressed
classic
like
farming.
this. What if someone sees me?
You're just going into a backyard. No one will see you.
Milton.
No.
Oh, it's on.
Man, look at all this stuff. Pull weeds, mow lawns, scoop and bag dog business. There's got to be a way out of this. Lisa, chop off my hands. No! Then who chop off
Rather
my
have your
hands?
hands cut off.
You chop my hands
Sounds
halfway
like
off.
kids.
I still have enough strength to chop.
Get to work!
And there's Mom.
Kids, I made some lemonade for you.
Sounds great. Bring it in here.
So I've allowed this to go on and on. This is
What are you doing
way longer than we
inside?
normally do. But
Work
it's
was
because
hard,
it's,
so we quit.
What?
Hard
It makes a
work
statement.
made us quit.
I see. Well then, no chores, no allowance.
Okay, we get our room and board free anyway, and Santa Claus provides the rest. The carnival! We need money fast.
Well. Looks like somebody's gonna have to do some yard.
Carnival time! Here's money, kids. Take what you need.
Oh, boy,
Yeah,
I
way to
need
go,
money.
Dad.
There you go, Dad.
Ding, ding, ding.
Here they are at the carnival.
Yep.
Now it's almost there. Pay close attention. Gotta pay close attention.
I want to see Lobster Boy and Shrimp Girl.
I want some fried sugar. I want to go on the Yardwork Simulator.
When they ask you to do yard work,
The Yardwork
The Yardwork
Simulator.
Simulator.
And they're gonna pay for it.
I love
Yep.
it.
Can't. What can I say? That to me, like
That's the best.
what season 9? That must have been from 1998 or 99.
Oh, man.
Yep.
That's good
And-
stuff.
Old.
They foresaw the future that kids would want to play on virtual reality yard work.
Rather than doing the actual work and getting paid.
Crazy.
That's good stuff.
Let's look at some plant pics.
All right, what'd you bring us this week?
So we've got a few photos that show some landscapes that are easy to care for. They've made smart decisions.
Okay.
And some others that
labor.
maybe they've made some decisions that necessitate unnecessary work.
Okay.
What do you think of this one?
Apprehensive. Is that a little low? You see Jack Maples,
love it.
first thought there, slow growing.
Yeah.
Not a lot of maintenance involved
Not
there.
a lot to do.
See a pond, maybe some water plants.
This looks-
maybe a little division every now and then.
Looks
in the
like
water
they
so
have
don't
this-
take over.
They set this up nicely. Well planned.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a lot of labor.
It looks
at this
fancy,
point.
but not a lot of labor.
No,
Yeah.
they've done a good job planning that. Now this looks like it should be a little more labor intensive, but
Variety selection there.
their plant
That's
choices
That's-
were spot on.
They-
So they chose a low dwarf growing pittosporum. It looks like
that
they're-
won't
They
require.
don't need
Yeah.
anything to do
Yeah.
anything.
No, they're
That's
going to
just the
grow
way
in
it
the
goes.
space and
Perfect.
plan it out accordingly, spacing.
Interesting to have those.
Hedgerow in the
the
front.
arborvitae.
Yeah.
Yeah, just you know,
Privacy down the road?
as yeah.
Is that the... Why would you want to block such a gorgeous landscape?
I don't know, but I love the
I
selection
didn't
of plant
notice that
material.
before.
I really
Is that
didn't
in the
either.
back?
Is that the same house?
It's not the same house.
I do not believe so.
Same. They used pittosporum,
Yep.
but no,
Oh,
that's not
that's
the same
awesome.
house.
Different house.
That is fantastic.
Okay.
Oh yes.
Now,
that's-
so here is perhaps the easiest
Set it and forget it?
because
it's
Not
like-
quite.
Matt, it's like this.
it is.
As beautiful as that is, they'll never have to touch that.
Yeah, set it and forget
Do you know why?
it. Low water use.
Very low
I
water
mean-
use. It's artificial.
Oh, gosh.
It's fake.
It's worse.
It's plastic.
That's terrible.
But you know
The
what?
pr-
It's a business.
Convenience at the
Well,
price of what? Selling your soul.
Yeah.
It's really not going to be pokey.
I mean, what do you
it's
want
soft.
besides-
The
the
worst
ATM.
part is I think those might have actually been expensive.
Oh, they probably were
Yeah,
very
way,
expensive.
way more than.
But that should last for several years without any attention. Nobody has to water it or deadhead it or feed it.
There's a little work.
Okay.
That's a lot of work, but I think that might be worth it. That's amazing.
I think it's worth it.
Yeah.
That is phenomenal. Isn't that
Espalier
amazing? Espalier
magnolias.
magnolias. Little
Wow.
Jim magnolia.
Where did
So
you
the-
find that?
I found that actually at a local botanical garden.
Okay.
Isn't that beautiful?
Not at the other side of the ATM bank place.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
These are real.
Not around the corner. And then
These are real. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, those are nice. It does. It requires a lot of pruning, a lot of training. So as long as you're willing to put in the work, but like we said, the payoff when the blooms come on the front set.
If you let it go for a while, can you bring it back?
Yes.
I wouldn't recommend it. Those hard cuts you make.
Yeah. But if they're
It's never the
timed,
same.
if they're timed appropriately,
Yeah, that's the problem.
yeah.
Yep.
So I can handle work, like let it build up and then do it. That's
Right.
the ones that you have to do so frequently.
And that, to me, some of that pruning is a lot of that work.
But let it flush out. End of June, hit it, should be good to go. This is very interesting. So typically when we see ivy on a house or any structure, we think, oh man, oh.
Watch out. It's going to
Yeesh.
just take over.
Still watch out. Because
you-
if you turn your head
Yeah.
and don't stay on top of your maintenance, you will need to watch out. But you can tell that's been maintained.
Somehow these people are there. They've got
They're
it
on it.
down. Isn't that amazing?
They're out there with a paint scraper every
That's
day.
all I can think is they have to sneak out there in the middle of the night and make it
Fairies
amazing.
of the night.
But doesn't it look perfect? Oh, okay.
Maybe,
Pomea
maybe
gone
neat-
wild.
Well, there's an answer. A different variety. Maybe we shouldn't have gone with the larger growing. We should have chose a much smaller, more hybridized maintenance plant. A little, some of the smaller types of Ipomea wouldn't go as crazy as this, because now
Yeah.
this is going to involve some labor to bring it back.
Yes, it's actually going into the air conditioner unit on the back of the building.
Searching out the water.
Yeah, that's a situation. We got a situation.
Just some, that is going to
I
be
mean-
labor.
They can rip this out, and it's not going to persist. They won't have a
No.
continuing problem.
Because winter will come.
Right.
Yeah, that's
It'll
right.
take it down.
So,
Until then,
live and learn.
live and learn. Send us your photos. We would love to see them.
Yes, please do.
Whatever you got. Let's see it. The good, the bad, the ugly, beautiful.
Beautiful, wonderful,
Vines out of
fantastic.
control, taking
Anything.
over the whole family.
We love it all.
But
We love it.
please don't send fake plants. Pictures of fake plants,
No,
Yeah.
especially when it fools us.
Yeah.
no. But for
That
Labor
was,
Day,
I mean, it was a good one. I mean,
Yeah.
you can tell it was the spikes that got me.
Wall-worthy today.
Okay.
This is one of my favorite things.
Every
to
week
use.
we pick a new
Yep.
tool that we decide should
Alright.
it be on the wall or not.
Okay.
Is it worthy?
So,
Oh,
this is an important thing to use.
yes, ma'am.
This saves so much labor in the landscape because it is pre-emergent.
Set it on the
Pre-emergent.
counter.
Pre.
So, pre-emergent. This stuff is worth its money. It is.
Not
it
quite
is-
weight in
No,
gold
not
because
quite.
that price is a little outrageous
Yeah,
these days.
but it's so effective
it
because
is gold.
it actually works. It's actually effective. I throw it down like chicken feed in the yard.
Yep.
But it's effective for about 12 weeks.
Yeah.
And you know when you haven't done it because you go out there and you're like, oh man.
Very easy to
And
use.
it's really safe on the plants.
It is.
It
that
is.
you're around.
It is. And interestingly, where we live
So-
here, there are weeds germinating year round. So when you're in
Anytime-
your house,
Right.
you're watching Super Bowl beginning of February, they're out there. And
Anytime that falls below
Yep.
70, they're going to start some.
they're going to
germination.
start. And then you go out there and go, oh man, all
Got
these weeds.
directions
you
on the
have
back.
this scoop and you
And it's water activated, so you put it down
I like
before it's
that.
going to rain, and it's good to go. But that is a very helpful product to reduce
Okay, cool.
labor in the landscape.
That's right. Preventative.
Preventative.
No doubt.
This is a Spathiphyllum.
why is it a hard worker?
This is a peace lily. Now we've had this plant for a long time now, and honestly, I don't think it's not been blooming.
We have here at our farm.
We've had it here for a long time, and it has
Where's this familiar face
been
been
it has
hiding?
been blooming and blooming and blooming.
Where are you keeping this?
I keep these in special places that you can't see.
Oh, so that's why it's not a familiar
It's
face.
been in the Smith house?
It was in the propagation house for
Okay.
a few months, and then it was kicked out because you guys are propagating.
Needed a little more. Every square inch matters.
So we moved all of our foliage plants underneath an oak tree, and they're just as happy as they can be. They're loving the heat and the humidity. They're in the shade, and they're just, I mean, they're prolific. They're so happy. But
working hard in the heat.
working really hard in the heat, but I mean, he just keeps producing flowers. He's just,
I see, like
Isn't
right
that-
here. This needs to go in the time lapse studio.
isn't it beautiful? Yeah, oh, you should. Good choice.
Good idea. Let's see that unfold.
Beautiful.
I feel like Labor Day is a good day to think about a peace lily. It's just
So if you're inviting one of these into your home, what are your considerations? Where's it going?
low light and give them some room to grow because they do get big and they get big fairly fast. Yeah, it's a great plant. Really,
So
it's
on
super
the floor,
easy. On the floor?
not on counter.
Probably not, unless you're starting with a very small one.
Step it up, lower it down, builds it. Beautiful
Yeah,
plant.
it's a great plant. Really is a good plant.
Working hard inside.
Hard working.
The name of this film is Desk Plants. The owner really specializes in plants for the workplace.
Okay.
Okay.
It's a natural state for us to want to be out in nature as human beings, right? There's an old practice in Japan called forest bathing, where people go out into nature, into a forest, and just meditate in there, walk around in there. They're present in nature. And it's harder and harder for us in our society, especially while we have professional lives that we got to cater to, and we have social lives. There's a disconnect with the natural world in a lot of ways. To me, a connection to nature with plants indoors, it doesn't do the full trick, but it is a very good substitute if you have to be indoors for a certain amount of time during your week because work or life calls for it.
So the whole film's on PLANTPOP?
Yeah, we can
Yep.
see the whole thing on PLANTPOP.
Okay, cool.
Go check it out.
Yeah, no, that was a good little clip.
I like that. Making people happy at work. And what makes people happier?
Plants.
Absolutely.
Always.
Good to go.
I think so.
Come check us out next
done.
week.
Yeah, next week I think we're gonna
We're gonna have some fun next
look
week.
at some garden statuary.
Yeah, a little fun next week.
Let's do it.
Check us out.
Oh, yeah, that was
Good
quick.
save.
That
Good
was
save.
Quick hands.